from you, Sohini.
Hey, hi everyone. Am I visible?
Yeah,
And
yeah. You're
am I
visible and audible too.
all right? Great. Hi everyone. Oh my God. So this is January 2021's first stream that I am doing, and I just hope that this goes well. So first, I'll introduce myself. So my name is Sohini, and I am the developer advocate at Dabble Lab. So I started my journey at Dabble Lab around 4 months back, and my job, or you may say, my main area of advocacy is on Alexa skills and Alexa skill templates, and also its development, of course, which is the primary thing. And I think speaking about my passion, that is the first and most important thing why I chose this job, because I think the one thing apart from just streaming or building skill templates or developing skills, um, and working on client projects, the one thing that is very, very important to me is my passion. So I think I just get a very, I mean, that's one of the favorite things that I really love and I'm loving right now, is getting a chance to just fulfill my passion through this job. And I think building this community is one of the biggest target I have. And this, to be honest, this target never ends. So I'm just trying to fulfill this target, and that's why I'm in here, because I want all of you to be in there and also build skills along with me. So I'm not sure how many of you have, and the one important thing which I would really appreciate if you would just keep writing on the chats as well about what do you think and how you're enjoying this, and if you have any questions, that as well on the chats, and keep asking questions, because the more you make it interactive, um, it's more of fun. So yeah. And yeah, so what I was talking about is, I'm not sure, I would like to share my screen. Let me do that. Okay, so yeah, I think just a moment. Yeah, cool. So I think my screen is visible now. I hope so. Okay, so but I cannot see your chats. Where'd you go? Just a moment. All right. Anyways, if there's any, I will just check back after some time to see if there's any questions. That is the best thing. Okay. So I'm not sure how many of you have already built Alexa skills before, and how many of you are aware of, like skill templates, or what an Alexa skill is, and you know all the things. So today I will not dive in too much deep on the technical issues, or just I wouldn't just go ahead and start coding. I would just prefer to talk about it and let you know what's going on around and how this can help you. So before we get started with templates, let's first talk about Alexa skills. So, uh, well, about Alexa skills, have you ever questioned yourself if you have Alexa device at home or anywhere else, that when you say Alexa, play this quiz, or play song quiz, or play Bollywood quiz, or anything, have you ever had a question in your mind that how is she actually doing that? So, of course, there's an input. So someone must have created that and just put it inside of her brain, and that's the reason she's being able to deliver that to you. So that input is what a skill is. So you all are developers, and even if you aren't, then you're very, very intelligent. I'm damn sure about that. So of course you can. The most important thing is the ideas about what can engage a person. So when you build a skill, it's basically an idea more than just the code, and more than, because I think it just takes 2 minutes to write down the code if you're familiar with either the Node.js SDK or Java or Python. I don't think that's gonna take you a lot of time. What really matters is the idea for it. So that's where, you gotta do the best so that it becomes really engaging. So you think about a skill which might be a movie skill, which might be a specific web series skill. Like I've made one that's the money heist skill, and unfortunately there are some issues right now with the skill. I don't have a UK version of that, so kind of problems troubleshooting that. But that particular skill was a masterpiece. So in the same way, you can just create a particular skill like that, which could be a quiz or which could be a song, like kind of game skill, which could be, there are so many genre. You can just select any of it and build a skill. It could be a skill that uses external APIs to fetch in some outputs for some enterprise level skills. So it could be anything. So you just create it and you just put it, like you develop it in the Alexa developer console, and then that starts to work and somebody can just kind of access it. So these are the things, like and the best part about this, it's open source. And there was a time, like, very, very few things were open source. I think open source has just started growing in the past 5 6 years, if I'm not sure, apart from GitHub and other stuff. I think this is one of the best open source things I enjoy. And trust me, it has never been tough for me, so it's not going to be tough for you as well. So that's what an Alexa skill is particularly, and it's not tough at all. It's just about understanding it. So now I will talk about templates. So what happens is, why do we need to have templates for Alexa skills? So when talking about templates, so that's what my professional job is, because I create those templates at Dabble Lab. And not only me, my entire team who is in this, who focuses on this area, we do that. And we are planning to make this open source as well. So I would talk about that later when I finish this webinar. So templates are basically, when you look at a Google form, so that's particularly a template. So you can just add in fields of your choice, but by default there's a skeleton version of that, which has got some by default fields. So you don't need to go ahead and create a form from scratch every time. So how does it help? It makes your work easier. So in the same way, thousands of people, millions and billions of people are creating a quiz skill right now, a quiz skill for Alexa. So that doesn't make sense if everyone would need to go ahead and build it from scratch. It would never make sense. So I think a template for that really makes sense. So once you have a template, then you can just edit it, modify it, or do anything about it. But I think to have a scratch code, it really helps you, doesn't it? So I think that's what we are focusing on. Like my team at Dabble Lab, we're focusing on building these templates and making it easier to public. So yeah, I mean, this is part of the voice first ecosystem. So I wanted to talk about the voice first ecosystem as well today. So when I speak about the voice first ecosystem, uh, it includes all the voice assistants, personal voice assistants or bots, which could be a Google Assistant, which could be an Alexa skill or Siri, or what's that, Cortana. So it could be anything. So all of these are just included in your the vice first world. And I think not all of these are open source. I think yet only Google Assistant, you can build Google Actions, and you can build Alexa skills. So just these particular things can be open source for the timing now, but I think this is the best time you can get started on this, because this is pretty new so far. Still, it's very new. You can make a space on this. So kind of, yeah, I just wanted to share these small theoretical knowledge with you about how these can help you. So yeah, these were the utilities of the template. So now I would want to go ahead and move to my Alexa developer console. Let me just look at the chats till I do that. Do we have any questions? All right, we don't have any questions. Okay. So now I will just go ahead and let's do some skills now. Let's do some technical stuff now. So this is how your developer console would look like. I'm 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 not sure if the writings are too small. In that case, you can let me know. So yeah. Okay, so this is your developer console, and I think I mentioned this on the posts before, that you gotta have, if you're building along with me today, you can have a Alexa developer consoles account. I mean, sorry, an Alexa developer account. Then you can just do it right now. So once you have your developer account, it's pretty easy. Then okay, first let's take a look at a skill, like how you actually get started with a skill, and how can we have a glimpse of what a template is and how to go ahead. So once you log into your developer console, you can just go to create skill. So let's say we would create a fact skill today. So what a fact skill is, when you say, let's say the name of your skill is space facts, but don't really go and create a space fact skill, because I think there are so many um, space fact skills out there. Uh, I mean, if you look at it, this is another thing I wanted to talk about. Like when you build a skill, actually, like for testing your skill, it's fine. You can just do any kind of skill. But when you're trying to build a skill that is, you want an engagement, or you're creating it for a project basis, or you're looking forward to that skill, it can get you some goodies, or it can, you want some customer engagement with that particular skill, then it's important that you look at a couple of things. So number one is, it should be a unique skill that doesn't really exist in your, what is it, Amazon market store. Because if that exists, then what happens is, if you have 10 skills with the same name that is a space fact, then I mean, it's not sure. I mean, it's not 100% sure thing that your skill is gonna get called when someone invokes Alexa open space facts. I'm really sorry if I'm waking up anyone's Alexa at home right now, but I have to take the word. Or yeah. So now let's build a fact skill today. So let's say demo facts. Let's name it demo fact. Okay, and I will set the language to English US. And so here are a couple of options. If you see, you have, so you gotta keep the skill name as Demofax. So this is what is gonna appear in your Amazon Market Store. And I'm setting the default language to English US, and I will choose custom model. So here you have a lot of options. So this could be a music skill, this could be a flash briefing, smart home video meetings, and education. So that's completely up to you what you want to select. So I will do custom, and for the method, you have these the Node.js and the Python. And this isn't so relevant. We don't really opt for this option. So I'm just good with Node.js. Honestly speaking, I'm not good with Python at all. So I'll select this and then I just go ahead and create the skill. So this is gonna take some time. Not this actually, this part's gonna take some time. So now you have some already custom templates available in your Amazon Alexa developer console. So these are the templates which are created by Amazon, but if you look at all these templates, there are two templates which are created by Double App. One is the scheduling skill and the other one is survey skill. So my company created these two skills, and we had a tie-up with Amazon and they kind of put the skills upon their official developer console. So that's kind of great news always for us, and I feel so proud to showcase these two to everyone every time I go live and talk about skills. So what I'll do is I would select the fact skill template, because if I go around dabbling with these, it's gonna take a lot of time, because these are bit complex skills and would take some pre-knowledge for that. Like I would need to talk to you a bit more in terms of sessions. So I would select fact skill and then I would continue with this template. So these are created by Amazon. So that's what I wanted to say. So someone can just go ahead and create this fact skill. So this would take just some time because it creates everything, bundles of it validates the skill, creates the voice model, creates the language model. So your skill can be available in many languages. It could be English UN, it could be a US, it could be English IN. So what are these? When you say English US, English IN, so these language models are kind of curated with regions, so and marketplace. So you have amazon.co.uk, so that's for UK. So like when you create a skill, it's gonna particularly go to your amazon.in marketplace. So what that is, so if I just go to, if I go to my Amazon account and if I go to Alexa skills and just go hit a search, so this is going to come up. So these are the skills. So this is another great thing that I would say, that can you imagine, like you build a skill, you can use it as a project, and then the skill directly goes to Amazon's marketplace. I mean, that's a huge thing, I believe is. So when you search for any skill in here, like I'm going to search my skill in here. So that is a money heist. Um, Oops, they've taken that down. Because yeah, I just told you that it's just troubleshooting that for now. They gave me a couple of questions for the UK version. But yeah, if you just go and look for some other skills, so let's say this one, you'd be able to see that this is how your skill is gonna look like. And if it's really famous, people are gonna come and just give a review about it. So these are important things, and you gotta create a skill. So what I was talking about was the language. So when I create a skill that uses only the English IN language model, that's gonna just be usable in Amazon.in. Now, suppose I say I want my skill to be available in the US store and I want my skill to be available in the UK store. So I need to make sure that I have multiple language models enabled for the skill that I am building. So you can do that from here and go to language settings and then you can just clone it. So let me just give a small demo of this. So when I do this, and it's already in English US, so I can just clone it to the languages which follow English. Now, say I want Hindi, which is not possible because you need to convert all the extra strings and data type to that particular language, and you got to do that manually. The same comes for Spanish or some other language. So now if you just hit on all these and go to clone, it's going to clone up in these languages as well. And it's going to show up in these marketplaces as well. So that's another tip. So whenever you create a skill, make sure that it's available in as many as possible marketplaces so that it can get a huge customer um, usage and reach, because that's going to help you. And I will tell you why. Because if your skill has got more than 250 unique customers, you will get paid by Amazon. They pay you, they give you rewards. So even I got it. My skill hit up to 2,000 or 3,000 people. And but only you'll be paid basis the unique customers present in India, not in UK or somewhere else. So if, let's say, 2,000 people from US have used your skill, and let's say 1,000 people from India have used your skill, so you will be paid basis those 1,000 unique customers. And then once you get paid for the first time, so normally they give you a 2,000 rupees Amazon voucher, or they would just give you a cash reward of that particular amount. There's some, I don't really understand their calculation metrics, depending on what they really pay you. But once it's more than 250 customers, they're going to give you a little bit much of money. And later to that, post to that, every month you'd be getting paid for that particular skill, as and when it gets more and more customers. But again, they have a lot of reasons to pay you or to not pay, so don't be saddened if they stop paying you, because that happened with me as well. So yeah. So these are informations, little kind of informations which can benefit you if you're a student, or if you're just trying to dabble around, or if you wish to make some money, or just have some fun around it. So try to build such entertaining skills that can fetch you money, because I think that makes all of us happy. At least by 10%, it does. So yeah, you can just have a look at all these things. So try to just make it reachable to as more people you can. And then I will go back to my build. Do we have any questions so far? Do we? Okay, so can I make use of Alexa skill as a full-time income? Well, that depends, Pranay. I'm really sorry to stop screen sharing, because I cannot see the questions if I don't do that. So that really depends. So what you can do is, there are two options that I can see for you. One is, if you can save a lot of time, then, like, as a full-time income depends how you're, I mean, what sort of skill you're building. Like, I just showed you the Bollywood quiz. So uh, I just showed you the Bollywood quiz, this one. So that one has got around 1,300 customer reviews. So can you imagine how many views it could have? So basis that, like, I've heard that some of the skills could incur you, I mean, could pay you, fetch you 50,000 rupees INR. So that's completely dependent. Basic, it's the content of your skill, and um how your publicity about it is, like how you are bringing it out. Okay, so you got to market it in such a way that really people can get to know about your skill. So that is a very important thing. So when you want to make money, and you got to take care of a couple of things individually, is your skill needs to be very robust, and your skill should have enough data. Your skill should be able to retain old customers, because they're going to tell someone else that, hey, this skill is cool, you can use this. And your skill should be and you should regularly update it, because no one likes old information, and try to update it as much as possible with the current data. So that is another thing. So yeah, and now that's about one skill. So if you can make sure that you're building enough good amount of skills, this can make you money. But again, it's not a fixed income. You got to keep doing that. You stop, the money stops. So that is what it is. So yeah, I think that's number one. And the second thing is, if you want to make really good money, like a job, if you want a job on this, then you can just follow the way I came in. So you can contribute to the Alexa community. We have a Slack channel. If you'd like, I will send you a link for that. So you can join the channel, help people answer their questions, and build skills, build really good skills. If you're a student, if you're an undergraduate, then try to be an Alexa student influencer like I am. I will talk about that program as well. This is just to answer your question. And then you can kind of you can join the voice first companies, because you get really good amount of insight from the voice first companies once you're in the open source community, because people would know you, what you're doing, and what you've done so far. Everything, your work, your about you. So that's how I got a chance. Like, you got to make your own spaces, and then you can get a voice first company and you can get a job in there. You could be an engineer who builds the skills, a voice developer, or you can be a developer advocate like me. So you got so many options. So I think that answers your question, Pranay. Then I have a question, is can this all be done? Shobit asks, can this all be done in Google Assistant or not? Yeah, I think yes, so this can be done in Google Assistant as well, using Google Actions. I have had minimal experience of building Google Actions. There was a time I used Dialogflow. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but of course, if you are eager to learn about that, well, I don't really advocate in that space. Because I'm afraid I don't have enough knowledge in that. But if you would like to know more about it, Dabble Lab has got a huge amount of videos in YouTube, and there are tutorials, so you can learn that. So after this, I will just share my screen and maybe just give you some insights on that. Let me just answer these questions now. So yeah, but it can be done positively. Then we have Shivam asking how people get to know about the presence of skills available. Yes, so if you are making a skill, so when you deploy your skill, when it becomes public, it goes to Amazon.in marketplace. I think I shared that with you when I was sharing my screen. So once it goes to the marketplace, it's public already. What you got to do is share it in your socials, and I mean, if if you want your connections to know about it, you can share it on all your social media platforms. People would know about it. But if somebody really thinks, let's say there's a name a TV series or a web series, let's say Blacklist. So that's an amazing web series. I really love that. So someone once just watched the Blacklist a few weeks back, and now that's a psychology, right? When we watch something, we kind of constantly start searching about the cast and crew, or we start searching if the story is true. That's basic human instinct. So what happens is when someone keeps searching about it, on the search, if your skill is really famous, it has already got a couple of reviews in Amazon. Or if somebody wants to find out if there is a skill, Alexa skill in with that related to that web series, then they would just go to Amazon.in and search like the Blacklist skill, and then they're gonna get your skill. So that is how people would randomly find you out, unknown people. So there are various ways of various ways of marketing it. If I start talking about marketing in Alexa, it's going to take me another 2 hours, because that's another favorite topic of mine as well. Like, I've spent really a lot of time into finding out what's best and how that can be leveraged. So yeah, maybe some other day I will speak about that. um, what else do we have? If I'm able to make Alexa unique skill, can I open my own startup company building? Yes, you can. I think many startup companies are doing that. And I think this is the best time if you're thinking about it, because when something is really growing and when you're sure about it, that the future is going to be great with this particular tech stack. And if I think technology is such a thing you're always sure about. So when you know that, then you can just go ahead and have your own startup. It's about growing it in the right direction, because you got to take care of a lot of things when you build your own startup. But if you do that, you will get good amount of people if you can reach out the right community, because I think right now most of the people aren't aware of what an Alexa skill is. They're just buying an Alexa device, and they're just randomly asking it to invoke a skill and play it, but they don't really know how that's been built. They might have questions in their mind, but sometimes, it's just the lack of resources and the lack of the right connection around them. So yeah, you gotta make sure of all these things. But that's an amazing idea. I really appreciate that, Prene. Can you tell me about some companies? Yeah, well, there are many companies that are hiring. Well, I would not name them right now because what you can do is you can join our Slack channel. I will just share that after, but I would really like to utilize the time right now to um do this session because I have so much to share. But after this ends, I will share the Slack link with you. You can connect with me over there. I will help you with some links and resources, and then we can. I can help you. I can guide you with some good companies and stuff. I hope that answers all your questions for now. Let me just go a bit ahead, and then I'll come back to your questions again. Okay, so now let's come back to our developer console. So this is how it's going to look like. Now let's take a quick understanding of what these things are, because this is what's going to help you when you build a skill. So invocation name is pretty much what do you, I mean, how you name your skill. Like the name of my skill is demo facts. So how, like, say you're building a fact skill, but how is Alexa gonna know that the name of your skill is demo facts, and how would someone access that? So that's why we've kept an invocation name, an entity. Like, my name is Sohini. So in the same way, the name of the skill is demofax. So it's important that your invocation name is really short, simple, clear, not to try to keep the words that are real. Like you say abracadabra. So that is a bit confusing. So most of the times Alexa could get confused with your invocation name. But of course, if that's what the skill is essential about, you can keep that. But preference wise, I would always prefer to keep the invocation name simple, short, and meaningful. Meaningful, most importantly, because I think most of the time our human instinct is not just to go ahead and read the description of a particular skill or a particular movie or something. We just look at the name and we think, oh, this could be this. We don't really care about the description of that particular skill or topic, and we just go ahead and try it out. So I think the invocation name should be very short and meaningful. So that's the reason. Then coming to interaction model. So when you hit on interaction model, you just get to see all these entities. So what an interaction model? So this is basically the UI of your skill. If you're familiar with front end, so there's a user interface and there's a backend always going on the front end and the backend. So backend is pretty much all the code and all the mystery and all of the, cool things. Of course, this is cool as well. I love front end. And the UI is what's going to take care of the requests. So what a request is something that the user generates. So like I would say, Alexa, open demo fax. So this is a request I am making to Alexa. So we need to design our skill in such a way that Alexa recognizes this request. So that is done through interaction model. So when you go to intents, intents are just intentions. So when I say that, let's say I say, okay, and Mr. X says, all right, and Mr. Y says, yes. So, okay, all right, and yes, these are similar, right? These sound as synonyms. But what if we don't tell that to Alexa? How is she gonna respond? So when Mr. X says all right, then she's not gonna identify that. So as a developer, you have to take care of all the scenarios, and you gotta build an intent in such a manner that none of your request gets skipped, and your skill might not give a good impression to that particular customer. So I think sometimes I wonder, Alexa skill is more about, just think of it in terms of customer's perspective. Like you want something, you're watching um, or you go to a website to buy some stuff and you see the UI is not really cool. So that's going to develop a very bad kind of impression in your mind. But would the developer really want that, who built that UI? No. So you gotta, when you build an Alexa skill, you gotta take care of two perspectives: the developer's perspective and the um, customer's perspective. So 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 these are the things. Um, so now I think I will answer the questions, but after some time, because I don't want to get distracted now. So these are the intents. Now, if you look at the cancel intents, so this is a built-in intent. Uh, I mean, this is one of the required intent, and this is a built-in intent. So there are a couple of built-in intents. So what a built-in intent is? Built-in intent is an intent which is predefined, like let's say the Amazon.yes intent. So someone might say yes, someone might say yeah. So all these things are just kind of put inside an intent from default by the engineers and developers at Amazon who've created this entire model, so that someone need not to just go and create a custom intent with all the synonyms of yes or all the similar sounding responses a user can give, requests a user can give to Alexa in terms of yes or no. So you can just go to add intent and you will get a list of custom intents. So this is what an intent is. So these are required intents, because if you don't have these, then your skill would be like in the middle of nowhere. It's like dumping a skill in the middle of ocean. So cancel, help, and stop are essentially important. So these are just built by default. And this is built-in, and this is the get new fact intent for our fact skill. So when you say, let's take a look at this. So this means like now your skill just opened because you said you just created a skill. Now, how to make sure that when you say, uh, Alexa, ask a demo facts to give me a space fact or tell me a space fact. So there might be a scenario that she is not responding. So these are the utterances. This is what I was talking about. All these synonyms. So they are termed as utterances. So I can say, give me a fact or tell me a space fact. Now, if I don't have tell me a space fact in this by default, and someone says, Alexa, ask demo facts to tell me a space fact, then she's not going to respond. So that's how it can go worse. So that's why it's important that you create these utterances in here, and then you just build your model. You can have more utterances, completely depends on what you wish to bring out. And how this is about handling your skill carefully. This is about handling the requests carefully inside of an intent. So make sure you do that if you want your skill to get a good customer usage and viewership. So once you've taken a look at this, then we're gonna go to, these are not important for you to know now, but still, if you're curious, intent history would just consists of the intents that were called in which order for your skill. It's just kind of a metrics, a history where you can get all the data, and utterance conflicts which show if there are similar naming utterances or stuffs, and JSON editor would just consists of the entire um the entire interaction model's data, like the name of the name of the intents that you've used, the utterances in there if any, like this one has got a lot of utterances, and these one are just, they don't really have too many utterances. I mean, those are built in, and that's all about it. So the more number of intents you have when you create it in here, it gets auto generated in your JSON editor. So that's how it's going to work. Now, when you come to ACIDs, so slots, slot types, these are much technical. And if I just talk about it now, I would need examples. So maybe I will talk about this in some other stream, and also about multimodal responses. These are trust me, these are cool stuff. I have streamed a lot about this. If you're curious, you can go and watch my streams. I stream on every Friday on the Double Labs YouTube channel at 9:30 p.m. IST. It's 11 a.m. EST, 10 a.m. CST, and yeah, that's how I remember. I just don't remember more of it. Pacific time is always a bit loopy. And when you go to interfaces, these are the kind of interfaces. So if your stream, sorry, if your skill uses an audio player or a display interface or any of these, APL is for echo shows. If you want visual effects in your screen that would show up in the Alexa device, then you gotta go and check this out and build your skill in that manner. So yeah. So I think we're done pretty much with the UI part and with the, what's this called, front end part. Now we'll go to the back end. So I will just go check the chats. Um, Gaurav Joshi asks, "Are you based?" I don't know. I'm from India. I am from India. Sohini, can you recommend some books or videos to master like skills in more from basic to advanced level? Sure, Pranay. I think you don't really need a. I think a couple of references would help you enough. We all are so intelligent, all of us. That's what I think. I think humans are really intelligent, and you wouldn't take a lot of time to master this. Trust me. Just take what's it called? Take a week's time to dedicate it Alexa learning. Um, and you can just do it. I'll share with you all, if you're interested, some good references, some good links, some good video tutorials. And I think, tell me something, people, don't you think this entire developer console is pretty much simple and easy? Like, not such, I mean, consoles are always so confusing, but I think this one is much better than the Amazon.in's UI. And it's much more simple than the Amazon's marketing website, the shopping website. Trust me, I just feel that. Just hit a +1 if you think the same. Okay, so yeah, I will share that video. Can you connect with me on Twitter or LinkedIn? Maybe Twitter works fine. This is my Twitter. It's shorter, so I'm sharing it in here. Um, I will do that. So this is my Twitter username. Just hit me a message in there. I will share with you all the references. I think that's cool. And Gaurav asks, some of my friends join. They say, "Yeah, I think this is being recorded," and thanks. I really appreciate the thought that you felt this is interesting. That's kind of a booster for me to, like, now I feel motivated for the rest of the stream. Share YouTube playlists. Okay, so if I go to maybe YouTube and then I go to Double Lab. Okay, so how about, okay, so I was talking about the Google Actions. Someone asked me about Google Actions a few minutes back. I don't. So when you go to this, you can check all the Google Actions tutorials in our website. I mean, in the Dabble Labs YouTube. So this is for Google Actions. One moment. Okay. And this is normally our YouTube channel, or just YouTube/Dabble Lab. That's for YouTube. I'm asking in for coding purpose, Sony, like how to manipulate code to make Lexus skill interactive. Well, in terms of coding, to make it interactive, you need to have a couple of intents, which takes in good response. You need to have session attributes in them, which persists user data. Like when a user says yes, and you can have some attributes like for returning users, you can have special dialogues or speech references. What else? Try to have try to have APLA, that is Alexa presentation language for audio, or maybe you can just format your audios really well. Use audios in your No, this is not my personal YouTube channel. This is Double Labs YouTube channel. So try to use audio files in your Alexa skill when Alexa gives an output. Um, because that makes it sound more interesting and not so boring with Alexa's voice always. I think that's one of the good things you can always do. Try to put in some music, some tunes, audios in betweens, and to make it interactive, I think you should have, I mean, the language and what else? Yeah, these are what I can think of right now. Maybe when I think of more, I'll let you know. So, yeah. Okay, so we'll close the chats now and get back to what I was doing. So I think I gave you all a reference of the Double Labs YouTube channel for anything. You can just refer to this. Get started. We have we have what's it called? Uh, Tutorials for beginners to advanced levels. So you can just always have a look at that. And this is my these all are my streams. Actually, my season 1 ended back in December, so I would be streaming starting this Friday for season 2 again with some more amazing stuff. So yeah, you can subscribe to our channel to stay tuned. Okay, so now I will go to the coding section and let's take a look at the code. How are we on the time? It's 7:46. Okay. So now if you go to the coding section, you can see the stuff in here. So what are these? So our everything is bundled in from before. So this is for the Ask SDK. So just in case if you're using the Alexa Skills Kit, I mean, of course we are using the SDK, so it's for that. And this is a regular license, and this is the name of your skill, this is the version, and the main is also mentioned in your package because I think this is the first um, POC, point of contact, when you call a skill. So now if you go to index.js, we have this, we have called this, and this language string consists of, as I was talking about, what if your skill is for some other um, marketplaces as well. So this is, I think this is Spanish, and this is Dutch. I'm not sure if this one is. This is Japanese. This is French. This is Italian, and blah blah blah. This is Hindi. So these fact skills are curated in such a manner that I mean, this template is curated in such a manner that it already covers all these languages. So now you can just go ahead, make changes. This is just for your learning, for your information. So yeah, now let's get back to index.js again. So remember, we just took a look at the intents few minutes back. We learned what intents are, but how are we handling them in terms of code? Like, so this is actually, the entire thing is the Lambda function. So I'm not sure again how many of you, this is your first time with Alex Skills or you've done it before. So previously we had to go to Amazon.in and AWS, Amazon Web Services website, and we had to go hit on the Lambda function, write down the backend code in there, and then fetch the ARN endpoint inside, and then stitch it inside of our Alexa developer consoles interfaces, endpoints, sorry, not interfaces. So we used to do that, but now this is recent, this is new, they've done this new change. Now everything is inside of your developer console. You don't need to go and write the backend code in your AWS Lambda function. It's the Lambda is included pretty much in here, so this is going to do all the calling and fetching of data. So these are the handlers. So this one basically, over here, if so this is a Node.js. If you're familiar, it's pretty good. If you aren't, please don't be scared. You're never too late to learn something. If you think this is interesting, you can go ahead and learn it right away. So yeah, so now you have the launch request. So this gets invoked or called when you just launch the skill, and this is gonna call the get new fact intent. Remember the one we created in our one we were looking at in the builds of our console. So this is how we're handling it. So this get fact message is gonna come out, and these are the facts. So this is pretty much the kind of JSON which is presented here. So these are the facts, and it's going to call out a random fact out of here. And this is the get fact message. So we have included all the English language or the prompts, you can say. I was just joking. Like we have included all the responses that Alexa is gonna give out inside of this language strings.js. So it's all bundled inside of here, in here. So you can have more facts in here if you want to create some other facts called, say, Choco facts or weather facts, or say Bollywood facts or Hollywood facts or blah blah blah. You can just, if of course, if you're building a fact skill, so it's all available in here. I mean, it's all set up. You just gotta change the data in here, and if you want to make changes, you can do that as well. So then this gets called, and that's it. And that's how the rest of the handlers are handled. I will not go again too much deeper for today. So this is the random function, and I think this is pretty much understandable. If it's not, you can ask me any questions. But I think it's better if you just go ahead and take a look at the code, and then if you don't understand, you can reach out to me. But if I do, like if I just go line by line, it's gonna take a lot of time. So, and this, I will just give you the shallow and basics of this. So, like we have all these handlers. This is for the error. If you say something that Alexa doesn't understand, then she's gonna fetch the error message from your language strings.js, and this is your error message. So that's how it's gonna work. I hope you understand the workflow. Now you go to exports.handler. So whenever you create an intent handler, make sure that you export it in here. It can be possible that you're creating a new handler in here, but make sure that you export it, else it's not gonna work. So now what you're going to do, if you're making any new change, make sure that you deploy it, else this is not going to be testing well. So now you go to this, right click and open this in a new tab. And so if you have a Alexa device, you can use that as well to test this, but you need to make sure that this account should be the same as of your Alexa device. Else, in development stage, you cannot use that because this is not yet published, so you cannot access this anywhere else. So now I will turn this to development, and I will just test it out. Demo facts. Let's see.
Here's your fact. Jupiter has the shortest day of all the planets.
Cool, cool. So I think this fact was taken from in here. Here you can see Jupiter has the shortest day of all the planets. So did you see the entire process how this works out? So we just built a skill out of a template. So now there is a long process into how you gotta publish this. You gotta get past these two steps, distribution and certification. That would again take a lot of time, because today I wanted to share about the Lexa skills and skill templates. So maybe we'll do that again in another session. I mean, it's huge, and I can unfortunately cannot cover that in an hour or half or two. So that's how you get a skill done. Do we have any questions so far? Um, Thanks, Hifsa. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. That makes a lot of sense, and that's really appreciable. So, Hini, can you give me some details of Amazon developer rewards? And yeah, okay. So I can maybe share this with you, because yeah. So this is pretty good, and you can just maybe have a look at it. This is for Pranay and anyone who's interested. So you have to make sure that you go and hit on India, because it's different for different places. So you can maybe take a look at this. Here are some of the questions. And eligibility is, yeah, so in terms of eligibility, the last time, I don't get that now, but the last time I checked in, it said that you need to have 250 unique customers, and I think that's the only eligibility. If you have 250 unique customers, then you'll be eligible for the cash reward, and you'd get a Amazon voucher for your Amazon shopping website. So yeah. And what else I can't really think about. The the the, the I, I can't really find that link now. Yeah. Well, I think, yeah, that's the thing. And to apply for this, I think you get, I mean, whenever you create a skill and it gets more than 250 unique customers, it becomes auto eligible. You don't need to really go and apply somewhere. But still, if you have a question on that, reach out to me. I'll find out something for you. I need to find that out. I hope that answers your question. Ayush asks where to start. I think we've started really long back. Maybe okay, so have you been able to catch up so far? If you haven't, you need to rewatch this because we have come up 75% of today's topic, but you can always start building your very first skill from Amazon Lexus Developer Console. So, yeah. Okay, now let's get back to work. So, this is it. So now this was the template that pretty much Amazon has. Now I wanted to talk about more skill templates. So now how you're going to find out more skill templates. So when you go to this website, skilltemplates.com, this is Dabble Labs website. So this is the one-click CLI. So if you remember, if you were watching from the beginning how we just built a skill, so we want to create a skill and then we just went ahead and we just, you know we wrote an invocation name, then we hit on, we selected the language, we selected the um SDK, whether it's a Node.js SDK, Java, or Python, and then we went ahead. So this is the one-click CLI where we have so many templates that we have created at Double Lab. So once you hit on this and deploy it, it gets directly deployed to your Amazon Alexa developer console. So for a demo, let's say, so this one is a basic starter example. So it's just kind of hello world skill. So I will not just go ahead and try this out because I think we just created a basic skill. So now let's go and see a remote API example. So I think you all would be very much familiar with APIs. Yeah, you can do that. You can hit me a direct message. I will help you, Pranay. Okay, so yeah. Okay, now let's go ahead. And okay, so once you hit on remote API, then you can just start. So now this is going to take some time and then it's going to get deployed. So it's going to ask you for your password and email address. And then this is going to take a couple of 2 to 3 minutes to deploy. So this is pretty cool. So what's going to happen is if this is your, so now we'll get back to our developer console directly. Now let's go to your skills. Is there a developer console? Let's refresh it. So now if you look at this double lab skill, so this is what's getting created right now in here. So when this goes towards the end, this is gonna get created. So you don't need to go ahead and create a skill and do all the lengthy process. So we have that pipeline ready so that any skill template you would wish to use from Dabble Lab gets directly deployed to your Amazon Alexa developer console. So this is going to take some time. And the only reason why I am talking about skill templates is why to waste a lot of time into writing the same code that is already I mean the same code. Let's say whenever you need to use an API, the structure is going to remain same. Your API might be different, and the data that you're fetching from your API might be different, but the Axios function is going to be the same, or whatever kind of function you're using to fetch your API. Like we've used Axios, so you can use something else. So that's going to remain same, right? We don't have really thousands of different um, differences in that particular function to call an API. So that's why we have so many templates ready, so that you can just go in and exchange the API URL section with your desired what is it, API that you want to fetch in your Alexa skill, and then just fetch the data. That's it, simple. So you don't need to do a lot of effort into doing that simple thing. So yeah, okay. So this is gonna take some time, a little more time, few seconds probably, and then we can just go ahead and yeah. So um, are you all enjoying this? Do let me know, because all I'm doing is just talking and speaking. I really don't know how it's going inside your head. So do let me know. Now, if I go to our console and maybe just hit a refresh, so you can see all these prompts coming up: full build successful, deployment successful, and all these things. So this really means that your skill got deployed successfully. And once this is done, you will get a notification in your email also, the email that's associated with your double app account, or your, so you're gonna get a notification that your host skill has been deployed. So now let us take a look at what this skill does, this template does. So now if you go to the code, and I would go to, so for this skill to demonstrate the usage of remote API, we have used this API. So this API just is a pretty simple JSON that gives you the data of the people who are at space right now. I'm not sure if they're at space right now, but yeah, these are astronauts, and my skill is going to give you data about these astronauts. So this is the handler, where I am actually using this. What's this called? This API, and then I am just retrieving their names, and I will just give that as an output. But the main function is in here. So this is where we're writing the main function to get the HTTP response for that particular API. So this is what I was talking about. So either you're using Axios or this, it's going to remain same. But what's going to change is the API and what you're trying to fetch. So that is what really matters. So that's why we created this template, because this is going to help you a lot. Now, if you go ahead and just hit on test, let's test this out, how it's going to give out the output. So I will turn it to development. Let me just check the invocation name for this, else I will, direct messages not allowed. Okay, I will just have a check at that after the session ends. You can maybe check back once I drop off the session. Then you can get in touch. I hope that answers your question. So now in this, I will just take a look at the invocation name. This is template 2. That's the name of the invocation name. So I'm going to write template 2 in here. So you can say launch template 2. So these are the, like, that these are the words you're going to use to invoke a skill. So you can say launch or start, or you can sometimes just simply write template 2. So that's going to work as well. So when you do template 2,
There are currently 7 astronauts in space. Their names are Sergei Ryvikov, Kate Rubins, Sergei Kudzverchkov, Mike Hopkins, Victor Glover, Shannon Walker, and Soichi Miguchi.
okay. So these are what is going to come out of this API. So now if you take a look at the API, it just fetched the names of all these 7 people that are with the entity people that are inside of this, and this is the code for it, where I just said that there are currently, so this is a default message, and then this would just give in the names of all the people. So I'm just retrieving data for all the people. Now if I wish, I can just give out the names of few people. Then you know how to better handle an API, you know that. So that's what is the utility of a template when I speak about template. um how can we update a skill if needed? Oh, you can always do that. So when you're building a skill, now if I would just go to your skills. So now let's say one of your skill, let's say this skill, it now shows in development. So now you just publish this after it passes the certification process. And now after a month, you think, oh, I just got something new. I could update my skill. So now you can go in and then you'll get all these options. So you can edit it. Now, once you edit it, of course, you're trying to update your skill with some new data. So you get access to the developer console again, like this. And you can just code the updated the information that you want to update, and then you'll get this option in here, if you can see, promote to live. So this can be used only once your skill is public. So you mean your skill is public already and now you want to update it, so you can, it's just the same process. You just need to change the code and promote it to live, and it's going to take effect, but after a little minutes of time. It would just take, maybe sometimes it takes me 10 minutes, 15 minutes to get the updated version. So it just goes to the back end and does all the functioning, so that just takes some time. So yeah, but that's simple and easy. That's not a burden again. They've made it really simple and easy. So I hope that answers your question, Shivam. um all right, now let us go. And so I think we understood the utility of this API. So now I'm gonna do. So I just really ran too fast for this. But if you want to know more about this template, I think I have streamed a lot about this. And I'm not sure if you have ever heard about the GitHub trick. So basically, when you create a repo in GitHub, and let's say there's like, what I did was, once I also, you can just keep a look at my GitHub repo, because or I mean the Dabble Labs GitHub repo, because a lot of new things happening in there as well. So now if you go to this one, so this consists of all the data. So just in case you want to know about what I do with my live streams, if you want to get some data, then you can, where's the, yeah, this one. Yeah, so if you just want to follow what I'm doing, then you can just always have a follow up on this repository. So, what I wanted to share was, oh, you can build a conversational skill as well. There's Alexa Conversations, which was beta last year. I'm not sure if it's still in beta mode, but yeah, I will share a link with you. But before that, let me just finish talking about this. So when you go to this one, so I just created this files. So these are just dummy JSON. So when you go to let's say raw, and this URL basically acts as an API. So most of the times we spend a lot of time into building loads and lots of APIs. Like, I remember when I created APIs using Vertex. If you have heard of Vertex, it's a polyglot application. You got to create so many things and run it with a server. Oh my God. And write down so many commands just to get an API ready, just to get a dummy API. Have a employee that Java file, and I don't know what else. Or maybe you use STS, Spring Tool Suite, for creating an API. So I think if you want to do something for demo testing, or maybe a small project, you can use this procedure to build, just to create an API. So this is a cool trick, which I think is very interesting, and this might excite you as well. So you can always do this. but make sure that you use the raw version. That's the URL, not the GitHub repos URL. This is not the URL. Don't make this mistake. So yeah, now I will talk about the audio streaming template. Of course, it's not possible for me to cover up all the templates in here, but this would be the last one I would talk about, because if you're really interested in knowing about the rest of the templates, you need to keep um, a follow up with me on the Dabble Labs channel and the tutorials and live streams coming up, and to our GitHub as well. And you can follow us on Twitter as well. We have regular updates. So the audio streaming skill, I wouldn't just deploy it, I would just speak a little about it. So the audio streaming skill helps you to play a podcast or play a web radio that's going on out there. So can you understand the utility of an Alexa skill, and can you understand how a template can affect you, how it can help you if you're thinking in terms of your own project, if you're thinking in terms of your own learning, or if you're thinking of it in terms of an enterprise level project. Like this could completely create you your new business. So there are so many good things about this. So just I mean, yeah, just keep playing around it. So that is what this code does. um okay, so as I said, for the rest of the templates, you got to keep in touch with me, because that's gonna take me a month or maybe a week to cover up all the templates at a go. um yeah, so that was what I wanted to talk about. And if you really like all these content, and if you want to get in, just stay in touch, you can find us on the GitHub. Stay tuned to our GitHub channel, GitHub actually, not channel. Where's the chat? Okay, so for GitHub, I will just give you some useful links right now. Then we have our YouTube channel, so Double Labs YouTube. And then we have Twitter. And you can find us on LinkedIn as well. There are also, just write Double Lab, you'll just find us. And Sohini to find me. You can find me on Twitter with this. And you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm afraid I might need to log in. This is my just a moment. Where's the how to share a LinkedIn profile? I just okay, no worries. I think this is it. This is the link. Cool. So I've given you all the useful links to connect with me. Now coming to the question asked by Vishal. So um, one second, I will just have just one important thing to share. You were asking about Alexa conversations. So just a moment. So basically, this beta, and it's still beta, as I just said. This question was asked by Vishal, right? So you can just maybe give this a read, and we'd be coming up with a template soon for this. Oh, I just thought, I just hope this link helps it, or you can just go ahead and Google that out. You can find it. So I think one moment. So yeah, so I think all the information that I shared was helpful. I'm really sorry if I were not able to answer any of your questions in the way you'd expected. And also, I'm really sorry for not being able to cover up everything just real quick. But of course, if you have any questions, you can always reach me out, and I am a person who's constantly helping people, so I'll help you as well. And let's make this community really large. If you want to also connect in our Slack channel, the Alexa Developers Community India. So we have our Amazon Alexa teams, solutions architects, and all the star Alexa champions and consistent contributors in that channel, where we help answer people's question who are new to this community and help you get your errors solved in your code. So we do that. So that's another good way to learn, because you always got to make mistakes in order to learn your stuff. And it's important you make mistakes, because that's how you're going to remember it. So you can comment that. Do we have any last questions? No. So maybe I will just do one small thing. That is, I will share the Alexa developers. One moment. I will share the link to the Slack channel so that this helps you. Um, but unfortunately, I can't find that. One moment. Just give me one last moment. Um, well, at the moment, I just cannot find that link. I'm really poor with finding out this invite link in Slack. I just get confused. But yeah, anyways, hopefully, if you really want to be part of this community, you can just l- you can just reach out. Oh, I just got it. So this link expires. Yeah, I will just do that. One moment. Alexa developers community. Oops, sorry. India. Okay, so this is the link, but this link is usually shorter. But yeah, this is the link to it. And um, well, that's all for today. And that was all I had for you today. I would just wait for another 1 minute. If anybody has any more questions or comments or any ideas or thoughts or anything from me, you can let me know. And yeah, that's all I had for you today. I hope you
Thank you
enjoyed.
so much. Thank you so much, Sohini. It was really an insightful session. And I hope all our audience enjoyed your session.
Yeah, I really hope so. That's the only objective always. So thanks everyone. Thanks Shivam, Vishal, Pranay. Yeah, I will share everything. There is a whole lot of bunch. Please connect with me for more details. And thanks a lot, Sanaya. Once again, thanks everyone. All right.
Thank you so much, Sohini. Have a
Yeah.
nice day. Bye.
You too. Bye everyone.
Thank you so much to my audience who were present today. And it was really an insightful session and wonderful session by Sohini. Thank you so much. And guys, please do fill the feedback forms. That's in the chat box. We are going to send in the chat box itself. Thank you so much.